Ever wondered why your knees creak after every staircase, even though you're faithfully swallowing fish oil pills? What if I told you there's a common mineral hiding in your diet that quietly blocks all those omega-3s from ever reaching your muscles? Today, we're busting open the healthy fish myth and ranking the top 10 species for rapid leg power, plus the one oil you must ditch immediately. From an Arctic fish you've probably never tasted to the tiny anchovy that can reboot your grip in just 12 hours. This countdown flips everything you thought you knew about seafood and recovery. If stronger, pain-free legs sound useful, stick around. Each spot on the list comes with a science-backed, kitchen-ready hack you can try tonight. Don't miss the number one shocker. It could save you months of rehab time. Hit subscribe, smash the bell so you don't miss a beat, and show some love with a like, comment, and share. 1. 10th place, the forgotten mineral that blocks fish benefits. Let's talk about a saboteur that might be hiding in your medicine cabinet. If you're diligently eating fish to strengthen your muscles, but your legs still feel weak on the stairs, the problem might not be your age or the fish. The real culprit could be that little white calcium pill you take with your dinner. It's a classic case of two good intentions colliding. Your body simply can't absorb both a concentrated dose of supplemental calcium and the essential omega-3 fatty acids from your fish at the same time. Here's the simple science. When a large dose of supplemental calcium, especially the common calcium carbonate form, arrives in your gut alongside the fats from your fish, it can trigger a chemical reaction called saponification. This process essentially turns those precious omega-3s into a waxy, soap-like substance that your body cannot absorb. As research in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition has shown, this means the very nutrients you're counting on to reduce inflammation and rebuild muscle are escorted right out of your system, never getting a chance to work. Consider Elias, a 78-year-old retired lighthouse keeper from coastal Maine. He was frustrated. He ate cod or salmon 3 times a week, yet his leg stability was getting worse. His breakthrough came when a nutritionist pointed out he was taking his daily calcium tablet with his fish dinner. The advice was simple: move the calcium to breakfast and keep his fish for dinner. He changed nothing else. 2 months later, Elias reported he could walk to the end of his street and back without his legs feeling heavy for the first time in years. He didn't change the fish, he just cleared the pathway for it to be absorbed. So, the immediate action you can take is to create at least a 4-hour buffer between your main fish meal and your calcium supplement. You don't have to stop taking it, just reschedule it. By making this simple timing adjustment, you ensure the powerful nutrients in your fish get the clear pathway they need to help you stay strong and steady on your feet. 2. 9th place. Why frozen fish beats fresh for leg recovery. A prevailing belief in nutrition is that fresh is always best when it comes to choosing fish for muscle recovery. However, this conviction may be counterproductive. That beautiful fillet resting on a bed of ice at the supermarket might not be the most powerful choice. In a typical grocery store, fresh often means the fish was caught days or even a week ago. True freshness is measured in hours, not days. The fresh fish available far from the coast is often a testament to modern logistics, not peak nutrition. During its long journey, a process called oxidation begins. It's the same thing that turns a cut apple brown. This process damages the delicate omega-3 fatty acids, the very nutrients that help reduce inflammation in your muscles, causing them to lose their potency. This isn't just a theory. Scientific studies have confirmed it. When researchers compared fish that was flash frozen at sea within hours of being caught to fresh fish that had been sitting on ice for several days, the results were clear. The flash-frozen fish retained significantly more of its muscle-helping omega-3s. The fresh fish had already lost a substantial portion of its healing power before it ever reached the kitchen. Consider a real-world example from a senior living community in Alaska. They were in a prime fishing location and served what they believed was the best, fresh, locally caught fish. But a sharp-eyed dietitian noticed their fresh supply took nearly 4 days to get from the fishing boats to their kitchen. She arranged a switch to a supplier who flash froze the catch right on the boat, just hours after it left the water. The type of fish did not change, only the preservation method. Within a few months, staff reported a noticeable improvement in residents' strength and mobility. The real enemies to the nutrients in fish are time and air. Flash freezing essentially presses a pause button, locking in those powerful omega-3s at their absolute peak. It acts as a nutritional time capsule, delivering more of the fish's natural benefits directly to you. 3. Eighth place. The 3-minute cooking rule that doubles leg benefits. Let's talk about a simple mistake that can happen in any kitchen, one that can undo all the benefits of eating healthy fish. We've all heard the rule. Cook fish until it's white all the way through and flakes easily with a fork. While that advice is meant to keep us safe, it can actually get in the way of our goal to build stronger muscles. Think of the protein in fish like tiny, perfectly shaped keys. Your muscles have locks, and these keys are designed to fit into them to start the repair and growth process. When you cook fish for too long with high heat, you're essentially melting and warping those keys. The fish becomes dry and flaky because its protein structures have been damaged. In fact, food science shows that aggressive cooking methods can ruin a significant amount of the essential nutrients your muscles are hungry for. You might be eating the protein, but your body can no longer use it effectively. This isn't a new idea. In the small fishing villages of Japan, where living an active life into your 90s is common, they have an unwritten rule. They practice what you might call fire-kissed cooking. Their fish touches the heat for the shortest time possible, just enough to warm it through while leaving the center tender and juicy. They believe the life-giving nutrients escape with the steam of overcooking. Modern science agrees. In France, physical therapists often recommend a technique called mi-cuit, pronounced mi-kwe, or half-cooked, to their older patients recovering from muscle loss. They sear the outside of a good fillet, but leave the very center slightly translucent and soft. This method keeps the proteins in their most useful form, making them incredibly easy for the body to absorb and use for muscle repair. So, how can you bring this wisdom into your own kitchen? The answer is precision. Forget watching the clock and start using a thermometer. An instant read thermometer is your best tool. Your target is an internal temperature of 145 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 63 degrees Celsius. Slide the thermometer into the thickest part of the fish. The moment it hits that number, take it off the heat right away. The fish will continue to cook for another minute from its own heat, reaching a perfect state of muscle-building readiness. By making this one small change, you guarantee that the healthy protein you eat is the healthy protein your body can actually use. 4. Seventh place. The wrong fish oil that weakens your legs. Now, many of us reach for a bottle of fish oil capsules, thinking it's a smart shortcut to better health. It seems so simple, but this is where a good intention can backfire, potentially making your legs even weaker. The problem isn't just that fish oil can go bad. It's that most supplements are made in a form your body barely recognizes. Here's the real issue. Your body is designed to use omega-3s in their natural form, called the triglyceride form. It's like a key that perfectly fits a lock in your cells. However, to concentrate the oil and pack it into a capsule, most companies convert it into an artificial, man-made structure called an ethyl ester. This new molecule is like a key that's been poorly copied. It looks similar, but it doesn't fit the lock. When you swallow one of these artificial capsules, your body has to work overtime to try and convert it back into the natural form it can actually use. This process is incredibly inefficient. You might only absorb a small fraction of the omega-3s listed on the bottle, and the effort can create extra stress and inflammation in your system, the very things you're trying to prevent. This artificial form is also far more unstable and likely to go rancid. So, instead of delivering a soothing anti-inflammatory to your muscles, you could be swallowing something that your body struggles with, which offers little benefit and may even cause harm. Consider the story of Arthur, a 72-year-old retired watchmaker. For decades, his reputation was built on the incredible steadiness of his hands, capable of placing the tiniest gears with perfect precision. When he noticed his legs getting weaker and his balance becoming shaky, he started taking a popular fish oil supplement. But he only felt more fatigued and unsteady. The man who once mastered stability now felt it slipping away. Frustrated, his detail-oriented mind wouldn't let it go. He researched and discovered the difference between the artificial oil in his bottle and the natural form. He threw the bottle away and began eating whole fish twice a week, prepared simply. The change was remarkable. Within a month, the strength in his legs began to return. He could stand up from his chair without pushing off with his hands, and that old, familiar steadiness returned. Your experience with supplements is deeply personal. The key is to be an informed consumer. A simple bite test can tell you if your oil is rancid. Just pierce a capsule and taste a small drop. It should taste clean and light. If it's sour, acrid, or intensely fishy, spit it out immediately. It's spoiled. But go one step further and check the label. Look for supplements that are explicitly in the triglyceride or TG form. If it says ethyl ester or doesn't specify, it's best to be skeptical. True strength comes not from a convenient shortcut, but from giving your body the quality fuel it was designed to use. 5. Sixth place, Arctic Char, the unknown muscle builder. Let's talk about a fish that's a true hidden gem, one that most people walk right past in the grocery store. It works on your muscles in a way that's completely different from many other foods. This fish is Arctic Char. It lives in the icy cold, pristine waters of the far north, and its flesh has a beautiful rosy pink color. That color comes from a super antioxidant called astaxanthin, and Arctic Char contains about 40% more of it than even high-quality salmon. Here's why that matters for your energy levels. Think of your muscle cells as tiny, high-security buildings. Most antioxidants can only patrol the outside walls, but astaxanthin has an all-access pass. It's one of the few antioxidants that can travel directly through the cell membrane and protect the mitochondria, the power plants inside your muscles, from the inside out. When your mitochondria are protected, they produce energy more efficiently and suffer less damage from daily activity. This means less fatigue and better endurance. This isn't just a theory. A fascinating study published in the Journal of Sports Medicine and Physical Fitness showed that astaxanthin led to a remarkable increase in muscle endurance. In Iceland, where Arctic Char is a staple, local health practitioners have observed that seniors who eat it regularly often maintain impressive grip strength well into their later years, a key marker for overall physical resilience. Consider the story of Elias, a retired cartographer. His life's work involved trekking through rugged landscapes, and he always prided himself on his steady legs. But by age 78, his problem wasn't just a simple ache. His legs felt perpetually drained, as if the power had been cut at the source. A short walk to the mailbox would leave him feeling exhausted for hours. His daughter, a marine biologist, brought him a supply of Arctic Char. Skeptical, Elias started eating it 3 times a week, pan-seared with a little butter and herbs. Within 2 weeks, that profound exhaustion began to lift. He found he could complete his daily walk around the block without that familiar power drain sensation. He felt not just stronger, but more resilient from within. The astaxanthin was working at a cellular level, quieting the oxidative stress that was wearing his muscles' power plants down. Preparation is simple for this fish, which you can typically find in the frozen aisle of well-stocked supermarkets. Because its flavor is delicate and clean, somewhere between salmon and trout, a gentle bake or a quick pan-sear is all you need. It's a perfect example of how making a small, informed change to your grocery list can have a real impact on how you feel every day. It's not about complicated routines. It's about understanding how your body works and giving it exactly what it needs to thrive. Thank you for joining me on this journey to build a stronger foundation for the years ahead. 6. Fifth place, Mackerel's secret vitamin D advantage. Let's talk about a power source many of us connect with: sunshine, not seafood. What if one of the most effective activators for your leg muscles was hiding in a common, affordable fish? Mackerel is well known for its strong flavor, but its true secret for muscle health is vitamin D. A single serving of mackerel can contain over 360% more vitamin D than an equivalent portion of high-quality salmon. This isn't a small difference. It's a major advantage for how your muscles function on a daily basis. Here's why this is so critical. Your muscles contain dormant repair cells, often called satellite cells. Think of them as a dedicated maintenance crew, always on standby, waiting for the signal to start repairing and building muscle tissue. For years, scientists searched for the most powerful signal to wake them up. Research found a direct answer. Vitamin D acts as that wake-up call. When enough vitamin D reaches your muscles, it directly activates these cells, triggering the muscle regeneration process. Studies have shown this activation can begin within just a few hours of intake. This isn't just a lab finding. In some coastal communities in Japan, it's not uncommon to see people in their 90s still tending to their gardens with strong legs and a steady hand. Their secret isn't a fancy supplement. It's often a daily breakfast staple, salt grill mackerel. For them, this isn't a health food. It's simply their way of life, providing a constant supply of the very nutrient needed to keep their muscle repair system switched on year after year. Mackerel is incredibly accessible and easy to prepare. You can find it canned, smoked, or frozen in most supermarkets. A simple way to start is by adding smoked mackerel to a salad or enjoying canned mackerel on toast. The science shows us that vitamin D doesn't just support bones, it actively commands your muscles to rebuild. Making a food like mackerel a regular part of your diet is a straightforward way to help keep that natural repair system working for you. 7. Fourth place, sardines, the 4-hour leg strength booster. There's a humble food, often found in a small tin can, that people tend to either love or hate, sardines. But what if this simple pantry staple could give you a noticeable boost in leg strength in just a few hours? The magic of sardines isn't from a single nutrient, but from a biological team working in perfect harmony. This team has 3 key players: coenzyme Q10, calcium, and omega-3s. Think of your muscle cells as tiny engines. CoQ10 is the spark plug, igniting the fuel inside your muscles' power plants, the mitochondria, to create energy from movement. The omega-3s act as a crucial facilitator. They make your muscle cell walls more fluid and responsive. This allows the go signal to get inside the cell faster and helps the CoQ10 spark plug connect more efficiently. And the calcium? It's the electrical signal that tells the muscle to contract. Now, you might be thinking, wait, I thought certain types of calcium can interfere with fats like omega-3s. That's an excellent point, and the distinction is critical. The calcium in sardine bones is completely different from the artificial calcium carbonate in many pills. This is a natural calcium phosphate, perfectly packaged by nature with its fats and proteins. Instead of causing conflict, this natural form works with the omega-3s in a powerful partnership. Researchers in Portugal, a country that loves its sardines, put this to the test. They gave a group of older adults a standard serving of whole sardines. The results were remarkable. Just 4 hours later, participants showed a measurable increase in leg muscle power and reaction time. This wasn't about long-term muscle building. It was an immediate improvement in function. But here's the key to unlocking this benefit. You must eat the sardines whole, including the tiny, soft, edible bones. Those bones are the source of that special, highly absorbable calcium. If you pick them out, you lose the go signal for your muscles. In fact, some physical therapists in the Mediterranean recommend what they call sardine stacking. They advise clients to eat 2 or 3 whole sardines on a piece of whole grain toast about an hour before a therapy session. The idea is to have these nutrients peaking in your system right when your muscles need them most, making the session more effective. This small fish is a perfect example of nutritional synergy. It proves that sometimes the most effective health strategies aren't about a single magic ingredient, but about the right combination of nutrients delivered just as nature intended. 8. Third place, wild Alaskan salmon's 8-hour transformation. We often think of sleep as a time for the mind to rest. But what if you could use those hours to actively rebuild the muscles in your legs? Not a slow, gradual change over months, but a noticeable improvement in your stability and foundation, quite literally overnight. This brings us to a remarkable fish, wild Alaskan salmon. Now, it's crucial to understand that the pale, pinkish salmon commonly found in grocery stores won't deliver this effect. The secret is in the unique biological toolkit developed by salmon that have spent their lives fighting the icy currents of the wild. The power lies in a two-part system driven by the omega-3s, EPA and DHA. Think of it this way. Throughout your day, simple activities like walking or climbing stairs create microscopic tears in your muscle fibers. First, EPA acts like a flare gun. It shoots a signal directly to these tiny points of damage, saying, "Repair crew needed at this exact location." But the signal alone isn't enough. This is where DHA comes in. DHA acts as the site foreman. It doesn't just unlock a gate. It temporarily changes the very structure of the muscle cell wall, making it more fluid and permeable. This allows the building blocks for repair, amino acids, to flood into the damaged area and begin reconstruction. Farmed salmon, raised in pens, have a distorted ratio of these two compounds. The flare might go up, but the foreman isn't there to manage the site, so the repair crew can't get to work. This isn't just a theory. A fascinating discovery was made, almost by accident, at a Seattle VA hospital. A team led by a Dr. Alistair Finch was initially studying whether a salmon-rich diet could improve sleep quality and memory in veterans over 70. But the physical therapists at the hospital began noticing something else entirely. The veterans in the salmon group were showing up for their morning sessions with a dramatic improvement in their balance. They were less wobbly and more confident during their timed up and go tests, a standard measure of mobility. The protocol was simple: a 6-ounce portion of wild Alaskan sockeye salmon for dinner. The results were recorded the very next morning. This wasn't a jolt of energy, it was a fundamental repair. It was as if a construction crew had worked all night patching the small cracks and potholes in their leg muscles, making the foundation they stood on feel more solid and reliable. For the best results, timing is important. Eating that 6-ounce portion of wild-caught salmon about 2 to 3 hours before you go to sleep is ideal. This gives your body time to digest it and get that perfect EPA and DHA signal into your bloodstream. The delivery peaks just as you enter your deepest, most restorative sleep cycles, effectively turning your rest into a targeted muscle rebuilding session. It's a simple strategy for waking up feeling more stable and secure on your feet. 9. Second place. Herring's creatine secret for instant power. We often think about strength as something that builds slowly over time. But what about those days when you need an extra gear? Not just the energy to get through the day, but the power to truly tackle it, like carrying all the groceries from the car in one trip or having the force to push the lawnmower up that steep part of the yard. For this kind of high-output energy, we turn to a classic from the northern seas: herring. You'll usually find it pickled in jars at the supermarket. The power of herring isn't just about the fuel it contains, but how that fuel is delivered. Herring is a fantastic source of creatine, which is famous for boosting muscle power. But here's the key difference. The creatine in herring comes naturally packaged with special fats called phospholipids. Think of your muscle cells as having protected delivery ducts. Most forms of creatine have to wait to be processed and allowed in. But herring's creatine, wrapped in these specific fats, is like a key that fits the lock perfectly. It can merge directly with the muscle cell wall and deliver its energy payload right where it's needed, with incredible efficiency. It's a more direct and effective delivery system. This isn't just a nice idea, it's been measured. A study at the University of Groningen in the Netherlands looked at this very effect. They gave a group of older adults a single serving of pickled herring. When they tested them hours later, they found a significant increase in their peak power output. This is the maximum force you can generate in a single, explosive movement. It's the difference between simply standing up from a chair and standing up with confidence and speed. This modern science confirms what coastal communities in Scandinavia have known for centuries with their tradition of morgensill, or morning herring. For generations, fishermen and farmers, many still working hard well into their later years, would start their day with it. They knew it gave them the explosive power needed to haul heavy nets from the sea or work the fields from sunrise to sunset without fading. It was their secret to accessing that top gear of strength. So here is a practical experiment. The next time you have a physically demanding day planned, a big project in the garden, a long walk, or a day playing with active grandkids, try a small portion of pickled herring in the morning. Have it on a cracker or a piece of dark bread. Then pay attention not just to your stamina, but to your power. Notice if those moments that usually require a big effort feel a little bit easier, a little more forceful. It's a simple, time-tested way to unlock your body's own peak performance, proving that true strength can often be found in the most humble of places. 10. First place, shocking. Anchovies restore leg grip in 12 hours. We finally arrived at the number one spot, and the fish that takes the crown might surprise you. It's not a mighty steak fish you'd grill at a barbecue. In fact, it's the smallest of them all, one that people often joke about. I'm talking about the humble anchovy. So why does this tiny fish beat all the others for rebuilding leg power and stability? It's because it tackles a problem that goes deeper than just muscle size. As we get older, or after a period of inactivity, it's not just that our muscles get weaker. The connection between our brain and our muscles can get fuzzy. You might know the feeling. You go to stand up or lift your leg, and there's a hesitation. The signal just doesn't feel sharp and instant anymore. This is where the anchovy works its magic. Think of your nerves as the wiring and your muscles as the engine. The anchovy provides the two most critical parts for the ignition system, zinc and selenium. These minerals act like the spark plugs. They are absolutely essential for the nerve endings to communicate with the muscle fibers, telling them to fire. Without enough of them, the signal from your brain gets weak and delayed. The omega-3s, which anchovies are also full of, act like a lubricant for this whole system, ensuring the message travels smoothly. This isn't just about building bigger muscles. It's about waking up the ones you already have. It's about restoring that crisp, instant communication. There's a powerful example of this from a care facility in Italy, where researchers worked with elderly residents who had become extremely weak and immobile. They found that providing a concentrated dose of anchovies helped restore that initial flicker of movement in muscles that had been dormant. It was the first crucial step to getting them moving again. The most effective way to do this is simple. You don't even need to cook. The Italian researchers used anchovy paste, which is potent and easy to use. The method they found most effective was 2 level tablespoons of anchovy paste spread on a single slice of whole grain bread, taken about 2 hours before bed. This timing allows your body to absorb these key minerals and fats and put them to work during its natural overnight repair cycle. We've seen this work for people in their own homes. A man named Marco, 79, was stuck in a wheelchair after a bad fall and couldn't even lift his feet onto the footrests. His family started him on this simple anchovy routine. Within a couple of weeks, he was able to stand with his walker for the first time in months. He said it felt less like his muscles got stronger overnight and more like his brain could finally find him again. Another woman, Sophia, 82, described the feeling perfectly. After 10 days, she could move from her bed to a chair by herself. She said it was like a light had been switched back on in her legs. Now, this journey ends with you. This is your chance to test it in your own life. Go to the grocery store and pick up a tube of anchovy paste. It's inexpensive and usually near the canned tuna. For the next 30 days, try the simple routine. 2 tablespoons of paste on 1 slice of bread, about 2 hours before you go to sleep. Before you begin, take a moment to see how you feel right now. Stand up from a chair without using your hands. Walk up a flight of stairs. Notice the effort, the stability, the confidence in your movement. Then, check in with yourself again in 2 weeks and again at the end of the 30 days. This is the ultimate test, not in a lab, but in your own body, in your own home.